What we're going to do today is we're going to show you how to place your blade and do proper strokes. This is a mold that we have developed to show what happens underneath the skin as this ink heals. To get our best healed results, we have to be completely straight. Okay, let me show you why. When you enter in the skin, if those blades are totally straight, you will have the most crisp, beautiful, healed hair strokes. What I notice a lot of my girls doing in class is they're using too much ink, okay? You don't need this entire blade covered in ink. You're never going to be able to see where you go. I want this much ink. Any more ink than this, too much ink. Whether you're working on latex or whether you're working on a person, any more ink than this, you're not going to be able to see where you're going. So this is the amount of ink I want. Another thing I see is everybody tapping their blade to the bottom of your ring. Don't do that. You're going to bend your blades. You can either dip straight in. I like to go right in on the side, just barely dip in and get the amount of ink that I want. One of the most important things that I think isn't stressed enough when teaching microblading is how the pigment is placed for it to heal. We're looking for healed results. We don't care what it looks like when they leave. We want the best healed result. So when you guys are going into the skin, I need you guys to be completely flat all the way through your pull. Let me show you that again. When you enter into the skin, completely flat all the way through. The next thing I want to show you guys, the second you enter the skin, I need these blades to be the exact same depth until you lift out. If I see you guys going into the skin and pulling back onto the butt, no good. If I see you guys going into the skin and going onto the tip, no good. This blade that we're using here is called a 12 flex. If you picture 12 needles on this blade, I want you on the middle 9. I don't want you on the very tip. I don't want you on the very back. I want you on those 9 rockers right there. The second you enter the skin, all the way through till the second you pull out, it has to be the exact same depth. All needles need to be the exact same, so the depth is the same, but I also need to see that the blade is not tilted one way or the other, okay? So if you're going in the skin and you're going in at an angle, no good. I need that blade completely straight. So I've just done these strokes where my blade is straight, it's not tilted, my depth is the exact same. Let me show you what happens if your depth is not right, if you're careless with your strokes. When your client leaves, they will look perfect, right? They will look at them and think, wow, these brows are amazing. So let me show you what happens in 4 weeks when they come back to you. Leaves and she's so ecstatic, and you show pictures on Instagram and Facebook of right after the procedure and they look like this. When they come back in 4 weeks, if that blade was tilted at all, they will look like this. I have many, many, many people coming to me with healed results like this that we have to fix. Don't do it. I never want to see your strokes coming so close together that when they heal, they turn into a big blob. When we place strokes this close together under the skin, do you see those bleed outs under the skin? They're going to come back to you with a solid powder brow. I never want to see your strokes so far apart. Then when they come back to you, it's just going to look like a bunch of chicken scratches. Absolutely never, ever want to see any crossing over. Never, ever do I want to see crossing over. Do you guys notice that wherever I cross over, I have a bleed out? Every single place that you cross another stroke, they're going to bleed out, bleed out, bleed out, okay? That is not pretty. I want to see perfectly placed brows. Your strokes come nice and perfectly placed, curving right over. to hug your line, okay? This is what I want to see. This right here is a tool that we have here at the Academy that we teach the thickness, the depth that we want you to enter into the skin. To do this exercise at home, I want you guys to grab a dime. You hold that dime and you place your blade onto the dime and you measure halfway down, half the width of a dime. That's the depth that I want you in the skin. I watch my blades every time I enter into somebody's skin. Some people have really thick skin. Some people have really thin skin. So I want you guys to look for pink. When you enter the skin, after you've made your stroke on the skin, if you see white, you're too thin, you're too shallow. If you see red, if you go way too deep, and you can cut all the way through your latex, you're too deep, okay? I want your depth to be pink. After you make your stroke on the skin, if you see pink, you're perfect. On your latex, that should look like that. When you open it up, you should see a little bit of white poking through. Don't cut all the way through, okay? That, when you open up your latex, that is your proper depth. Can everybody see that at home? Again, too shallow, too deep, perfect depth.